Hello and welcome everyone to Women Speakers Association's WSA TV premiere show. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer of our show, and today we have a fabulous topic. I'm also a digital media and marketing strategist, and when I talk about marketing, sometimes you think about selling. They're two different things actually, but we have two experts here today. We're going to talk about getting over the fear of selling. So let's just go say hi and then we'll get into our topic. And hi, Deb.
Hi, Laura. Good to be here. I'm Deb Coleman. I'm coming to you from Syracuse, New York. I'm a content conversion strategist and the founder of debcoleman.com, where you can learn more about me there.
Great to have you. And hi, Shirlene.
Hi, thanks for having me, Laura. I'm excited about this today. I'm Shirlene Reeves, and I am from San Diego and sometimes Baja, Mexico. And my website is shirlenereeves.com.
And Shirlene, I know you are a sales expert, and one of the things that people always shy away from is sales. And why is that so?
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that, but I want to tell you also that I'm an author of Selling Through Your Heart, empowering you to build relationships for financial freedom. So why is that so? That is because if we think way back to the time when we were children, what were we told? No matter what we said or what we wanted, we were probably told, no, you can't touch the stove. No, you can't run across the street. No, it's too late for you to play outside. No, no, no. And so as we were growing older, we did everything we could to try and overcome and avoid a no, right, Laura? Have you ever felt that way? And
Oh
that
yeah, we
no,
always want yeses.
yeah, exactly. And that no is rejection. We call it that big word rejection, and nobody wants to be rejected. It's a terrible feeling. But I have to tell you, if you look around down here in Mexico, they're all coming and sharing their wares. And I'm constantly saying, no gracias, no gracias, no gracias. And they take a tremendous amount of rejection. But those of us who live in a different world, we don't do well with it at all. So, one of the first things to learn is that they're not saying no to us personally. They're only saying no because of a few reasons. One might be they can't afford it right now. It's not in their budget at this time. Another might be they don't have the time. They have too many programs that they've taken on and they just don't have time to do it. Or the third one might be they're just not feeling it. And none of that has anything to do with you. So that's why I believe that people have a hard time with sales.
So what I'm hearing is the first thing to do if we want to overcome our fear of selling is first recognize it doesn't have to do with, it's not personal. It's not personal. So I want to get another piece of advice from you about how to do this, and then we're going to talk to Deb about how you do that in writing. So
awesome.
From a conversational standpoint, from engaging with a potential client, if you have so much fear, what advice do you have for people to get over this?
Well, think of the person that you're speaking to as your new friend instead of somebody you're going to sell to. You know, have you noticed on LinkedIn when you join somebody right away, they zap you with, oh, this is what I do and go check me out. Well, they're not my friend. So do I go check them out? No. And I don't try to work with people who want to sell me right now. Do you want to buy? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And they're out there. I think you've seen them in the networking groups. If we can start creating a friendship with someone, hi, how are you? Tell me about you. Tell me what you love to do for your clients. Then suddenly they're all talking to you like a friend and they know that you care about them and you want to listen to what they have to say. And that's the second thing, is listening to what they have to say, not jumping in and saying, oh, I can help you with that with my product right away. So it's a matter of holding back, creating a friendship, and then moving into what they might be interested in. And believe me, if you are their friend, they're going to ask you what you do. Courtesy.
Exactly. Wow, what a brilliant idea. And focus. It's all about where the focus is, right? It's not on you and trying to sell them something. It's on them and listening to what they're up to in their lives, being really interested in them instead of trying to be all interesting.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. And it's really hearing what they had to say, because then you can say to them, I know we only have just a few minutes at this networking group because our whole idea is to meet lots of new friends. Can I follow up with you? Then you have something to talk to them about when you follow up.
So it's just about taking a next step. I love that. So that's a great way to approach the sellings without the fear of selling. So
Right.
Deb, I wanted to talk to you now a little bit, and thank you for that, Shirlene. It's brilliant, just brilliant. And Deb, but you take this from a whole different place online when you're communicating in writing, whether it be your blog or social posts or messages, because Shirlene was mentioning messages. How does one overcome their fear of selling and not make those big mistakes online?
Well, very similar to what Shirlene said, and I just love it all. It's about relationship marketing. It's about making a connection first, engaging with the person, listening, as you were saying, Shirlene, and putting ourselves in that consumer's shoes. So much like you were saying, Laura, it's not about how do we push out what it is we want and what we're all about, but how do we enter in a way that we'd like to be approached online, and keeping it conversational, whether we're writing, whether we're doing video marketing, live streaming, any of that think of making a connection, being conversational, opening up discussions where we share value, where we leave some room for them to engage back with us, because that's our best information. And then we use that and turn it around to create the kind of content that they are interested in, that naturally leads to the things that we offer, what our services and products are. So it's a very seamless way to go about doing it. And with most business owners, we just kind of tend to overcomplicate it. We think marketing, we think we have to show up a certain way and use certain language. And I really work with people on relaxing into being who they are and just trusting that their message is enough. Them making that personal connection one-on-one is really what leads to the business decisions and the buying that happens when it's right, when it's the right fit.
So, well, Charlene said, you take it to the next step and have a conversation. My question to you is, a lot of people are, Deb, is a lot of people are afraid to ask for the buy in a blog or on their website because they want to deliver such high value. What is the best way to do that and overcome that fear and feel really good about making that next step online?
I like to help my clients think about that we're here to provide a service, and that the only way to make that connection is kind of like Shirlene was saying when she was first sharing, is to let people know we're here. Let them know we have this great thing that we offer, and if it's right for them, they can let us know and we'll take it to that next step. Mm-hmm. So part of what we do when we create content is create content about those very topics. We don't just pull them out of the air. We don't just pick the latest, greatest thing that everyone's talking about. We choose the topics that relate to what we do in our service, so that it's a natural lead into, here's a lot of value, here's how I approach this topic. If you'd like to learn more, if this sounds like the way you'd like to market, or you'd like to create your own content, perhaps you'd like this. And we make an invitation. It might be to our opt-in and our lead generator. It might be to a conversation or an offer, a direct offer, but it comes after we've made the connection, after we've given some value. And it's not a push, it's more an ask and an invitation.
Beautiful. Both of you are doing that in different, media, I guess, in different ways.
Context, yeah.
And in different contexts, exactly. So
Yeah.
now I'd like our viewers to have a little bit more of an experience of you and understand a little bit more about your background. So Shirlene, tell us, who do you work with and what do you do with them?
Well, I really love working with people who have been laid off because they've already been in the business world. They've got a concept. But as you know, it's two different worlds completely. And when they come to me, a lot of times they've been in business for about 2 years. I love that, in their own business. And they found out that what they're doing just isn't working. And the reason, usually, I'll give you the little hint about why it isn't working, is they don't have easy sell programs. They have programs where they went through something and then they say, oh, everybody should know this. But then that's like looking for a needle in a haystack, right? We've got to find somebody who has that exact same situation in order to buy your program. So the best thing to do is what Deb was saying. I loved what you said because it was a perfect segue for this, is to listen to what your clients want, then create programs around their needs. Then you just sell consistently. But if you try to do something upside down where you're creating it before you ever talk to anybody, most people don't even know who their target market is or their demographic. So that's why I love to work with them after they've been trying. They've tried other coaches. They've been doing it for about 2 years after they were laid off. And all they need is a little bit of help with regard to what program or product they're trying to say to sell and how to word it so their clients will listen.
So give us an example of someone you helped to design, that listened and then designed a product.
I'd love to do that. I'm big on media, and I happen to have a woman that came all the way from New Zealand to get into my energy, as she put it, so that she could decide whether she wanted to bring me on, because she had written a book and she's a men's anxiety expert. So there's tons of men out there that need it. So we made her book like it was a car race. So she put it in her programs in 3 different levels, like a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari, and a Mustang, depending on how long she worked with them. And she got so booked up by the time we were done because she had changed the way she worded what she said to them. And then she was able to just give them pictures of the different cars and what was under them. And they'd say, oh, I want the Rolls Royce, or I want the Ferrari. And it was just 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. And she has a waiting list. So I'm really excited about what she has done. So yes, it works really well when they know what they want.
And when you know your clientele, right?
Exactly.
Right. Excellent. And Deb, tell us about your work. Who do you work with and what do you do?
I work with business owners, primarily online, who want to get really clear about their messaging and then create better content that converts their ideal prospects into customers. And really, when we do it better and better, it works 24/7. So our blogs, our video marketing, our social media can have an evergreen component that is out there constantly adding value, constantly stepping into new communities and showing up to engage and start relationships that ultimately will lead to more sales. I love what I do. I find that it can be actually quite simple when we just get back to some core critical steps to do over and over, to show up, to add value, to engage, and then to make an invitation.
And it seems like a beautiful, actually, pairing here. Shirley, you create, the foundation, and Deb, you bring it to life in writing. Like, wow. Could you imagine people just working with the two of you together?
Yeah, that would be
master
quite
your message with Deb after you've focused in with Shirlene. Like, wow.
right.
So we got a power team here. If anybody's still struggling with sales and the fear of it, or not really knowing how to approach people and what the languaging is and what the methodology is and what the online process would be, the two of you together are a power team. And Deb, do you have an example of how you've helped someone create conversions online?
I do, actually. And I've always created my own programs based on what my clients were telling me they needed. So at some point, we usually have to pick something and try it. And then it's up to us if we're going to use our content as a feedback loop, which is what I strongly encourage, is to listen to what those people are saying and make a difference. So I've done that with my own programs and seen a much better conversion because it's exactly what they said that they wanted, even if it wasn't what I envisioned that they needed to reach a certain outcome. And it's really different. It's not about me and my process. It's about delivering what's going to help them get their results. So the very thing I do with my own programs and services, I do with my clients, about showing up with their even lead generator and opt-in and presenting it in a certain way and delivering content directly tied to that, being able to say, and if you like this, you might want to grab my opt-in, here it is. very seamless, very, very conversational. And they come back to me and they say, darned if every time I do what Deb says, doesn't it turn out better than it was before? You know,
Yeah.
and people feel uncomfortable about sharing their opt-in or how do I promote this new program I have. But when we come and lead with the value and the relationship building and the nurturing, that does the work for us. And then the sales conversations become much more easy.
Yeah, so the two of you are so aligned, and I love, Shirlene, what you say about selling from your heart. I love the title of your book, and
Thank
Deb,
you.
how you help people convert with ease and make it more comfortable. So, if anyone has questions, I want to invite you to be in touch with Deb and Shirlene directly. Um, you are both premier members with Women's Speakers Association, and I know that's a valuable organization. So I thought I'd give you both the opportunity to share a little bit about the value you've received from Women's Speakers Association. And Deb, why don't you go first?
I'd love to. Women's Speakers Association has helped me get in touch with women around the globe, all typically service based, wanting to help others, which is exactly aligned with what I like to do. And it's very much about creating relationships and nurturing relationships and supporting each other. And then the collaborations happen more naturally. The sales, people reaching out who need support around their content conversion, it just happens secondarily to having the relationship. So Women's Speakers Association is just a wonderful community to have that happen and to nurture that process.
Right. Thank you. We value all of the contributions you are. It's one of the greatest things. And Charlene, what is the value you get from Women's Speakers Association and have
Well,
received?
I'll tell you the reason I joined is because I really am out there doing speaking now. And I wanted to find out exactly what I should put on the web in order to get those speaking engagements. And I love the little modules that we all do together because we get to know other people. And I've learned what should be there when people go to see what it is that I do, because I'm more, well, if you read my book, you'll see I'm more conversational and I love to tell stories and things like that. But when you're posting your speaking opportunity on the web, you have to use bullets and specific ways of doing it so people can scan it personally. And you're talking to a different group. Like usually I talk to entrepreneurs like yourself, Laura. I mean, you're a fabulous leader in our organization, and I really appreciate you. And that's one of the benefits we get too, is you. But I loved hearing about how we have to set up our speaking page to make it the most beneficial to the people who would hire us. And that was really, really helpful.
That's great. Yes. In fact, when you do join as a premier member, you get this speaker sheet that goes out to everyone. It's online publicly, and event planners, it's a directory for event planners. So we
That's
help
what I'm
you.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so we help you optimize that. And if we invite any woman with a message who wants to get it out to join us at joinwsa.com. We have a free level of membership where you can do what Charlene and Deb have done and myself. It's an upgrade to the premier level where you get that more visibility. You get the opportunity to get coached. You get the community and the skills you need to get more speaking engagement. So we'd love to see you there. And this has been a very content-rich time. Thank you for the advice you gave, Charlene and Deb.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
The wisdom and the successes and the inspiration. This is what Women Speakers is all about, association. And we'll see you back here. Well, next week we have a celebration. We are celebrating the wins of 2018. So if you're a premier member, you can come on. Just go into the premier member group and you'll get all the details. And if you're just a viewer and you want to celebrate your wins, we can do that here live through the chatting as well. We're going to be right back here at noon Pacific on December 20th to celebrate wins. And then on January 3rd, we're going to do a whole intention setting for the year. What do you want your 2019 to look like? Can't believe we're already there, but we are.
I can.
So I look forward to seeing those of you here. Who will be back with us next week to celebrate. And thanks, Lillian, for being here. And for those of you watching, we will be back again next week. And why don't we all say goodbye?
Thank
Bye for
you.
now. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye, everybody.